My name is Sophie Mortimer, and I'm the manager of the Revenge Porn Helpline in the UK. The helpline is run by South West Grid for Learning, who are the lead partner of the UK Safer Internet Centre, and we're based in Exeter in the South West. The helpline was founded in 2015, at the same time that the law came into effect against the disclosure of private images in England and Wales. Funded by the UK government, they acknowledged from the beginning that there was a need for a service that would advise and support people affected by this new crime, and most importantly, remove intimate content that had been shared online. This is the law in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. The Criminal Justice and Courts Act 2015 came into effect in April of that year, and Section 33 states, "It is an offence to disclose a private sexual photograph or film if the disclosure is made without the consent of an individual who appears in the photograph or film and with the intention of causing distress." It then goes on to outline some defences, exceptions and definitions. I work in this field for the last 5 years, and how the law has been applied by law enforcement and prosecuting authorities has taught us a lot and shown us a number of issues with the law as it stands. We've identified 5 main points where we would like to see the law amended. Threats to share intimate images was not included in the original legislation, leaving it to be charged as malicious communications or part of a charge of harassment. We felt strongly that this was not adequate to protect victims, and were delighted when the government included this as a specific offence in the new Domestic Abuse Act 2021. From the 29th of June this year, it will be a criminal offence to threaten to disclose an intimate image without consent. We would like to see the law around sharing intimate images classified as a sexual offence rather than, as it currently is, a communications one. This would acknowledge the significance of the sexual element of the crime, and crucially, it would guarantee anonymity to victims. We know that the fear of being identified in court proceedings is a significant barrier for clients in reporting what has happened to the police, and needs changing if we're to see significant improvements in reporting and prosecution. We would like to see the removal of the criteria of an intention to cause distress. This requirement is very difficult to prove, and it discourages law enforcement from pursuing cases reported to them. And it means that sharing someone's intimate images for a laugh, to show off to your friends or for money, is a defence. Currently, images that have been altered are specifically excluded from the law if it is the alteration that makes the image private and sexual. This rules out photoshopped images, but also the ever-improving technology of deepfakes, where it can be almost impossible to identify whether the images are genuine or not. And in terms of the impact for the victim, there is little difference. If it looks like you, then it could be you, and the harm is virtually the same, and it is still a violation. Finally, the definition of a private and sexual image is very narrow. Currently, it must include genitals, female breasts, or sexual activity, but this excludes a wide range of intimate images that the sharing of can cause real harm, and it ignores any cultural sensitivity of the context. Scotland has a different law, enacted in 2017 under the Abusive Behaviour and Sexual Harm Act 2016. Under the law in England and Wales, unlike the law in England and Wales, it does include threats to share intimate images. And instead of just requiring an intention to cause distress, the law states that it also includes if someone is reckless as to whether they cause alarm or distress. And it also includes images that have been altered or manipulated, such as deep fakes. The Law Commission of England and Wales have been carrying out a review of the law as it stands, which is due to report at the end of this year. They're provisionally proposing amendments in all the areas that we've been campaigning for, and we'll be lobbying government to make those changes as quickly as possible. So what do we see on the helpline? Our clients have had intimate images shared, often by current or a former partner, often to cause shame and embarrassment, but also for a laugh, for money, status, or just because they can. We also see the sharing of intimate images purely for the sake of that sharing and collecting content. A number of forum sites and file sharing sites are used to share and ask for and pursue content of known specific women. We see threats to share images in order to coerce or control, and this is usually carried out by current or former partners. We see sextortion. This can be strangers or overseas criminal gangs, or it can be people that the victim knows. And we see images of clients that have been violated, creating new images, which are then shared to cause humiliation. Who are our clients? The majority of clients who come to the helpline are women, about 61%. However, sextortion, which is a very different dynamic, sees clients 80% male, which slightly distorts the overall figure. If you remove sextortion, our clients are nearly 70% women. It's hard to get personal demographic information from people who have been violated in this way, but we know that apart from being mostly female, they are predominantly young, so under 35 or so, but it can happen to any age. Our clients come from all ethnicities and cultural backgrounds. They come from all across the United Kingdom. In fact, we're often approached by people from around the world who don't have access to help in their own countries. Intimate image abuse is a gendered crime. There is no doubt about it. Not only are the majority of victims female, but the vast majority of perpetrators are male. In 2020, we had over 3,000 clients. Where the clients identified a perpetrator, over 60% of them were current or former partners, and 84% of cases had a male perpetrator and a female victim. And women have more images shared. In the same period, we reported 1,900 images for our 980 male clients. That's 1.9 images per man. For our female clients, the reported figure was 146,400 images for 1,830 women. That's over 79 images per woman. So where is this content shared? In 1 year, in the cases where we identified the location of content, the largest amount, over a third, was on adult entertainment sites. Emails or private messages made over 12%, and almost 15% were Facebook, and 11% were on their sister platform, Instagram. But the good news is that a lot of the time we can get these images removed. We've worked really hard as an organisation over many years to build strong working relationships with social media platforms, message boards and adult sites, but it is challenging work. There is developing technology in this area, but until there is a solution that locates and removes content automatically, we're dependent on the cooperation of sites. The major adult sites are, fortunately, very cooperative. Pornhub, Xhamster and the like all have reporting mechanisms, and while these can be slow when clients approach them directly, the RP Helpline has trusted flagger status, meaning that content is usually removed quickly. But there are message boards and forums where images are collected and shared, where requests are made for images of specific women, which can be harder to deal with. And we're starting to see an increased use of file sharing sites such as mega.nz, Dropbox, and the gamers site Discord. We have some success with these, but it's not perfect. So often it's about the speed in which we can get content removed. Because the internet moves like lightning, an image shared on Xhamster can be replicated dozens and then hundreds of times in only hours or days. And the more images they are, the more widely they can travel. And users download content, which they can then re-upload months later, and so the whole cycle begins again. Emails, text messages, and encrypted apps like WhatsApp are not possible to access because that's just the way they're designed. And the majority of platforms are moving towards encryption and prioritizing privacy, so this will continue to present challenges. One of the most difficult areas to tackle is where threats are being made to share intimate images. This can be for a variety of reasons, for money, for more images, for sex, or just to keep someone living in fear. But there is one area where technology is starting to make an impact. Several years ago, Facebook developed digital fingerprinting technology. This means that if an intimate image is shared on Facebook, Instagram, or in Messenger, and it's reported, they will delete it and create what's called a digital hash. It's a bit like a barcode. They store the hashes on their servers, and every image uploaded is run against those hashes. If anyone tries to upload that same image to any of the platforms, it will be blocked. In 2018, the service evolved so that people could, if they were being threatened with the sharing of their intimate images, have them preemptively hashed so that they can never be shared on those platforms in the first place. The Helpline is the referrer to this project in the UK. It's a fairly straightforward process, but it can provide enormous peace of mind because Facebook is where your family and friends and work colleagues are. And the possibility of having your private images shared there can be devastating. The one cautionary note on hashing, though, is that if the image is changed in any way, such as cropped or filters added, or a video is edited, then it has been modified and the hash won't match. We must never underestimate the impact that this sharing has. The sharing of these images can be devastating, shattering mental health, affecting jobs, personal relationships, and friendships. Clients report feelings of shame and humiliation. Some can't leave their homes because of the fear that people have seen their images. Some clients self-harm and some contemplate suicide. And once the images are out there, you don't know who has seen them, so you think everyone has. Even if we get them removed, there is always the chance that they will come back. It doesn't go away, and that is extremely debilitating. My mental health has suffered and I've been investigated frequently at work as rumours of me have spread about me not working hard. It has had a catastrophic knock-on effect. I've been on antidepressants and anxiety medication for 10 plus years. I want my life back. I was suicidal twice in the past few months. I was so scared. And when it got bad, I had to think of the mental health issues it would cause my children if I did that. I have felt trapped for months. This does give me anxiety and I can't speak to anyone about it because, you know, it's pretty embarrassing. Sometimes we're the first people that a client has spoken to. So we do our best to find out exactly what is happening to them so that we can assign them to the best services for support. That could be a domestic abuse service, a sexual assault service, a stalking service, or mental health support. Many clients tell us that the sharing of these images feels like sexual violence, and that form of support feels the most appropriate. So getting to know other services working in this area and building partnerships is really important for us. Because one of the things we really know about the sharing of intimate images is that it doesn't happen in isolation. So, the numbers. Before the onset of the pandemic, the helpline was already busy, seeing a steady rise in case numbers year on year. But as soon as the national lockdown was announced, cases went through the roof. Monthly numbers went from 140 to 240 to the 280s. In September, we dealt with 312 cases, and since the beginning of 2021, almost every month has been over 400 cases. I think it's a bit early to say exactly why this has happened, but some trends have stuck out, such as the rise in cases of sextortion, but mostly we've just seen much, much more of the same. What I think it does demonstrate is what we always suspected, that the helpline was only ever seeing the tip of the iceberg. The lockdown didn't create intimate image abuse, but it added pressure onto abusive relationships that were already there. So far, the Revenge Porn Helpline has removed a total of over 200,000 intimate images, representing a 91% removal rate. Another side effect of lockdown was almost immediately a surge in new accounts on OnlyFans. You may be aware of OnlyFans, but just in case, I'll give a quick explainer. OnlyFans is a website where creators produce content which is available to subscribers or fans for a price. The founder of OnlyFans says it was started primarily for musicians and artists to share their work, but it's been a runaway success for creators of explicit content. And along with the rise in accounts on OnlyFans, the helpline has seen a rise in cases involving OnlyFans. These come in two types. Firstly, people having their content shared onto OnlyFans by former partners without their permission, which we're able to report for removal. And secondly, OnlyFans creators having content that was created for the platform only being leaked elsewhere. And this presents a huge risk to those creators because under UK law, content uploaded by someone themselves that has been disclosed to the public at large or any section of the public is excluded from the law. So we have no basis to ask for it to be removed. And this just isn't true for OnlyFans and similar sites. It also applies to webcam work or any other form of sexual images being exchanged for money. One of the most important groups that we want to reach is university students. There have been increasing reports of sexual violence on university campuses, as well as online abuse, harassment, and stalking. So working with our sister service, Report Harmful Content, we created resources for university students and the services that support them. They cover intimate image abuse. What is it? What's the law? And what help is available? Stalking. This was put together with our partners at the National Stalking Helpline, and it outlines what behaviours could be stalking and what you can do. Sextortion. What to do if an online sexual encounter turns into blackmail. Reputation matters. This is about giving tips on what you can do to ensure that your online reputation is how you would want it to be. Negate the hate. What to do if you experience or witness hate crime at university. Don't be a bystander. And students and sex work. We know that students are increasingly turning to forms of sex work to support their studies. The Save the Student Money Survey 2020 estimated that 4% of students are doing some form of sex work. There are approximately 2.3 million university students in the UK. That means that 92,000 are involved in some form of sex work. We're not here to judge, but we want young people to make informed choices, keeping themselves safe and knowing they can reach out for help if they need it. The resources are available from our website, and we sent out sample copies to every university in the UK, as well as information on where they could be downloaded for free. We also emailed every university and student union welfare service with links and further information. We really try to do everything that we can to make sure this information gets through. We do our best to get information out there, producing resources, using social media, and regularly updating our website. But most importantly, we are here. The helpline is open Monday to Friday from 10 until 4. Our phone service has been temporarily suspended because of the pandemic, but we are readily available via email or messenger. And we do plan to reopen the phone line very soon, probably next week, but we'll be doing it very quietly. I think that's everything. Thank you.